He could technically be in champion, but only playing against silver players. So, before we even get into this, I want to point out, this right here is already a failure on Ubisoft's part. What game requires you to go look at a dev blog post to know how the rank system works?
This is one of the main things that I actually really agree with him on, is the over complexity of Rank 2.0 and how bad of a job Ubisoft has done of communicating this to the player base. It has caused a lot of confusion, and there's so many people who just have no idea how Ranked 2.0 works, including Varsity Gaming and probably including myself. And a lot of this video is going to kind of be up to how you interpret this blog post. I have one way of interpreting it, and he has a completely different way that he interpreted it. And so I'm going to walk through and talk about why I think that I have a better interpretation than him. But at the end of the day, this whole mess could have been avoided if Ubisoft had just done a better job explaining how Ranked 2.0 worked and didn't make the community kind of reverse engineer how this whole system is set up.
41% of players played ranked at least once this season, compared to the 35% average, which is like, okay, that's a jump of 6%.
41% of players tried rank at least once. This is important for later.
We've seen an increase in the number of players reaching champions. You don't fucking say. Yeah. So here is where we get those numbers. This is a 10 times increase, almost, across the board for champions.
Okay, he's going to talk about this a lot, and so am I, but this is one of the things that I think I disagreed with most in this video, is this whole thing about how it's way too easy to get champion, and he's going to keep talking about it, how anyone can hit champion, and you can be a bronze player and hit champion, and that is just completely untrue, and I have proof to back that up. But if we look at this increase right here, there is a lot of reasons why it is a lot easier to hit champion this season, and I have some pulled up right now. If we looked at the old rank system, you were required to have 5,000 MMR to hit champion. In the new rank system, to hit champion, you only need 4,500. They've made it 500 points easier to hit champion. So anyone who before was a Diamond 2 is going to be champion in this new system. Another big thing they've done is they've removed the matchmaking restrictions. So it used to be, to play with someone, you had to be within 1,000 MMR of them. So if I was a Plat 3 with 3,200 MMR, I would have to play with someone who was in Silver 4 at 2,200 or above. I could not play with anyone who was below Silver. In the new rank system, there's no restriction at all. So I can be a Diamond with 4,100 MMR, and I can play with 4 Copper people, and that's going to make our matchmaking a lot easier. It's going to put us against like silvers and golds or bronzes, but I'm going to be able to get to champion a lot easier because I'm playing with easier people, and so I can just boost to champion. So we need less MMR points, we can boost, and we also have the rank demotion shield. All these factors together make hitting champion way easier than it was before. So if they had made just these simple changes in the old rank system, hitting champion would be a lot easier. So I think that is the main reason why it is so easy to hit champion. When people complain about the new rank system, they're not complaining about those things in general. They seem to have a misunderstanding of how the hidden skill value works. Varsity will talk about this later, but he talks about how people who have silver MMR are able to hit champion and be playing against other silver players while in champion.
He could technically be in champion, but only playing against silver players.
Well, that's not at all how the system works. And once we get there, I'll talk about why. But that is why in this new system, it is so easy to hit champion.
Rank doesn't matter, because if everyone can achieve a certain rank, that rank means nothing. It's like that guy in The Incredibles that says, if everyone's a hero, no one's a hero. So rank just becomes pointless. What's the point of playing if everyone can reach champion?
Okay, we're going to get to this. He's going to talk about this later. But basically, 1.7% of the player base who plays ranked is currently in champion in this new season.
And champion's like 1.7.
And if you remember, the ranked player base is 41% of players. And of those 41% of players, 1.7% of them is in champion. That means out of everyone who plays Siege, about 0.7% of players are in champion. Less than 1% of people who play Siege are in the champion rank. If you look at these numbers, this may seem like a big amount of numbers, but there are millions and millions of people who play Siege. Still, we've only opened it up to less than 2% of the ranked player pool and less than 1% of the overall player pool. So he's going to go on and on about how anyone can hit champion. That is simply not true. There's millions and millions and millions of people who play this game, and less than 2% of them are in champion.
Most people aren't really making it out of copper. This is like almost 34% of people who play ranked aren't making it out of copper. That's insane. So people are just not wanting to put in that much effort.
Okay, he's saying people aren't going to want to put in that much effort. That's why they're stuck in copper. They just quit playing. That is also not true. Here's a friend of mine that I have who last season, he played 51 matches, and he highest rank that he achieved was copper 1. He was 1 point off bronze, but unable to get it. This season, he's played 22 matches. He's stuck in copper 3. This is a newer player to the game. You know, he's been playing for about a year, and it's not like he's the best player ever. You see his KD is not awesome, but I've played with him a couple times, and he seems to be decent, especially for a newer player. But, you know, he's putting in 51 matches and is unable to get in copper, or unable to get out of copper. And so he's putting in the games. I mean, he's playing 50 matches in ranked, and he is in copper. And that's just because he's a copper level player. The point here is he's saying that there's so many people because they just drop out of ranked. But there are people here who are legitimate copper players who play a ton of games and are stuck in copper. So I think Varsity is overlooking a whole lot of the community who is just newer to the game, not as good at the game, and are playing a ton of matches, but still they are stuck in copper.
I find that rewarding people based off of what rank they achieve just drives more people to be like, I have to reach champion. And then they'll just grind and grind and grind. And then champion becomes meaningless because the more people that reach it, the more rewards they get. People just are going for the rewards. And they're not really champion players. Then the rank becomes even more meaningless.
So here's something that he's going to repeat throughout the video, but that you can grind your way to champion. And this is true to a certain extent, but you still have to be a very good player in order to grind your way to champion. It's not like anybody can do it, like he says.
A lot more people, or not that many more people tried ranked for the first time, but the people who did play ranked played it more. And the reason for that is because obviously most of them could reach champion pretty easily.
Less than 2% of the player base hit champion. So I don't know what he's talking about here. It's not like anyone who wants to hit champ can just jump on and hit champ right now. That's not how the system works. You still have to be really good at the game.
Because like as long as I just play 80 matches, I'll reach champion. That's all they had to do.
Nobody is hitting champ in 80 matches unless they are like a legitimate champion player.
No explanation. Nowhere in game can you find an explanation as to how the rank system works. And that is terrible.
Completely agree. This is the thing that I agree with Varsity the most on. Let's get more things explained in the game. Let's be more transparent about how this whole thing works. I hate how to figure this out, I had to go through and reverse engineer this, and I hate how there's like, it's all just guesswork. No one knows exactly how it works.
This is a player in Siege who reached champion in Solar Raid. Previously, they were a copper, and then a bronze, and then a silver. And because of rank 2.0, they reached champion with a negative KD.
Okay, this is not normal. Let's pull up someone else who I'm friends with, who is consistently a bronze and a silver and a gold player. They are playing, you know, old rank system, 200 matches, 50 matches, 80 matches, 130. It goes by different season to season. And then last season, they played 253 matches and they hit gold 1. They almost got to plat, but this RP that they get, 2900, is pretty similar to their old personal best of 3000. Normally looks like they're around between the 2000 and 3000 range. in MMR, and in the new RP system, they are still between the 3,000 and 2,000 range. This guy played 253 matches last year. He hit Gold 1, and he was not able to get to Plat, get out of Gold, hit Champion, even though he played 253 matches.
One thing to note is the difference in matches played. They used to only play like 20 to, in this case, 70, and they played 475.
Now, this other person over here did not play 475 matches. However, I am confident that even if he had played 475 matches, he would not have been able to hit Champion. His highest rank was Gold 1. Last season, he ended at Silver 4. So he went up to Gold 1 and then deranked almost 1,000 points. He was at 29 for his highest. And then he went backwards and went down like 800, 900 points. So even if he had played an additional 200 matches, a lot of those matches would have been to get him back up to gold level. I don't even think in 200 matches, unless he won like all 200 of them, he even could have possibly hit champion. So I find this whole thing preposterous. What happened here is that this guy got carried to champion. Okay, but there's no way that this guy was solo queuing these previous seasons and then in this new season just happens to solo queue his way to champion.
The issue with rank 2.0 here is that if you put in enough time, you can reach champion no matter what your skill rating is.
That is just not true. If you're a copper level player and you put in 475 matches, you're not going to hit champion. I did the math here for my friend Cyanide that we talked about earlier. New season, he started out gaining 34 points and losing 21 points. So in order for him to get from out of copper just up to gold, he would have to win 70 matches in a row, and that is if he continues to gain the 34 points of RP for every win. It's possible that that would go down, and it probably would. So he'd have to win 70 plus games just to hit gold 5. Then once he's in gold, to hit champion, you know, how many other games is he going to have to win in a row? He's going to have to win like 200 games in a row. Every game he's losing in there, that's like another win that he needs. So if he loses 100 times, he's going to have to win like 300 games. So yes, it is possible for him to hit champion if he plays 475 games. But out of those 475 games, like 350 of them, he's going to have to win. As his RP is going up, so is his hidden MMR. So he's going to continue to face harder and harder people.
Eventually, the way the skill rating works is you will start to lose more than you gain.
The game is going to try to balance out and make your skill points, your hidden skill points, and your public rank points as close together as they possibly can. So if you're winning a ton in a row and you're winning more RP than you're winning skill points, then once you start losing games, you're going to start losing more RP than you were winning so that the game can get those numbers as close together as they possibly can.
But as long as you put in enough matches and you win more than you lose, you will reach champion.
Okay, yeah, that's the key. As long as you play enough matches and you win more than you lose, you're going to continue to rank up. A lot of emphasis is on you winning more than you lose. And in a lot of cases, you're going to have to win a lot more than you lose. Not always. If you already have a high skill ranking, then in this new system, you know, your hidden MMR is pretty high, already in the diamond or champ. If you maintain a 1.0 KD as you're leveling up, that skill level is not really going to fluctuate out of diamond or champion or wherever it is. And you're going to be able to continue to rank up even if if you're losing the same amount of games as you're winning.
There's also the possibility that because the restrictions were removed, that he could now play with friends who then boosted him. That is also a problem.
Yes, so that is what happened with this guy. This guy is not on a 1.1 win-loss hitting champion. He was boosted. That's how this happened. Also, what's difficult about this is we have like no information. We're just looking at numbers on a screen. So it is kind of a little difficult to come to an exact conclusion just looking at what's happening here. But to me, the most likely conclusion is he was playing in a 5-stack and they were able to boost their way up to champion.
With your hidden MMR, it only will change so much after so much time has passed. If you've played 50 matches, the system will be like, we are fairly confident you belong in platinum or gold. And then once you get like locked into there, even if your rank goes up higher, your skill rating won't necessarily match it, if I'm not mistaken. Like the game could think you are a gold, but then you win some matches and make it to platinum. As far as I'm aware, your skill rating won't actually update to platinum. It'll still be gold. So then you're plat facing people in gold because your visible rank doesn't matter. It's all about that skill rating.
Okay, so he's saying here that as you play a bunch of games, that your skill level is going to stop fluctuating because the game knows that you're in platinum. And so as you are winning games, you're going to be winning so little hidden MMR that your skill level stays at platinum and you're playing against other people who are platinum. This whole thing is kind of confusing with the new rank system and the old rank system. But basically, he's saying that then once you start winning games, you're going to be only playing against people who are platinum level players, but you're going to be ranking up to champion. I don't think that this is how it works. If it did get to that point, I think once you start to outpace yourself, once you lose, you're going to be losing way more points than you're gaining. And I mean, he even mentioned that earlier. So I don't think it's possible for someone to maintain a hidden MMR level of silver or gold or platinum and be in champion. I think your hidden MMR is going to be champion, and you're going to also have a outward facing rank of champion. That is how I understand how this new rank system works, because what he's saying doesn't really make any sense. And if the game thinks you are a gold, it is going to try as hard as possible to keep your rank in gold. That's why when we look at Cyanide here, after playing 50 matches, he is stuck in copper. Because the game thinks he is in copper, his hidden MMR is in copper, and the game is doing as much as it possibly can to keep him in the copper rank, because that's where it thinks he deserves to be. Even after playing 51 matches, he is still in copper. It's not like he's ranking up a ton. He's like getting no RP when he wins a game. He's losing a lot of RP when he loses a game. The game has him stuck in copper because his skill level is in copper.
Just to explain this a bit further, because I feel like I didn't exactly say 100% what I wanted to. My whole point is with these two paragraphs in the update. When talking about rank, they say that they specifically want people to keep winning and ranking up. And when talking about skill, they say that your skill uncertainty gets really low once you get to the rank you deserve. So if a player gets to silver, plays for like 50 more matches, the game's going to be like, we know you're a silver. But then let's say this player gets a lot better. They grind up to gold. From my understanding, the uncertainty is not going to change their skill rating that much because the uncertainty is super low now. They know that they're a silver. But now this player got better, so they'll still be facing silver players in gold.
Yeah, I don't really think this is how it works. And again, he could be right, just because this whole thing is like no one knows how it works besides the people who designed it at Ubisoft. But what if what he's saying is true? It's just not. Next time you're playing a game of ranked, look up the entire enemy team and your team and compare your ranks. And what you will find normally is, if you do this, that the ranks of the people on your team and the ranks of the people on the other team should be about the same if both of you have played at least 50 matches. So if you go in a game and everyone has played 50 or more matches and you're a silver player with 20,018 RP, everyone else in the lobby is going to be around that level, unless someone is matchmaking with someone who's a higher rank, you know, someone in champion or something. It appears like the hidden skill that is in charge of matchmaking is very closely aligned with this RP after you've played a certain amount of games. So after you've played around between 50 and 100 matches, it seems like the two values sync up somewhat, and that your RP is about the same as your skill points. At least that's how I understand it. Again, I could be completely wrong. He could be completely wrong. No one really knows how this works.
Unless I'm missing something. Obviously, I don't know the inner workings of the system because Ubisoft just won't say anything.
He could technically be in champion, but only playing against silver players.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I don't think that he has a hidden MMR of silver while he's in champion. Let's remember earlier in the video when Varsity was complaining about how he's in champion facing champion players and how he doesn't belong there and wishes he was in a lower rank.
Especially for someone like me, who for some reason the game thinks I'm a champion player, and I'm not. I will never get out of champion. The only way I can have my skill decrease to the rank that I would want it to, which would be like platinum and emerald, would be as if I went in for a whole season and I just abandoned every single game that I played in, which would just be terrible for everyone else.
Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, how does he know that his hidden skill is champion? He's in champion, like he could have a hidden skill of platinum, you know, if it's based off of how he thinks it's working here.
Time is more important than skill. As long as you can put in the time and play 500 matches, you can reach champion too.
That is not true. If we took like a bunch of different players, I am confident we take Cyanide, have him play 500 matches. He is not hitting champion. I'm confident we take Evil, have him play 500 matches. He is not hitting champion.
Which, in my opinion, makes it where ranked means nothing.
All right, so I think that was the majority of the part of the video that I was annoyed by in that section right there. I'm only about halfway through his video, and I've already been talking for about an hour. Obviously, I'm going to edit this down, so it's not going to be that long. But that was the biggest part of the video that I had a problem with, and I think that he is kind of wrong about rank 2.0, and I personally like rank 2.0. Quite a bit. I think that it is pretty nice to allow you to, you know, play a lot of games, continue to rank up, even makes ranking up a little bit easier. What I think the biggest problem with this new ranking system is, and why it's so easy to hit champion, is again, because in the old rank system, you needed 500 MMR. You also needed 100 games played, which I think would be helpful for this. And you have the rank shield, so for every like 5 games you played, you know, for every couple games you lose, it like pretty much doesn't count, and you get to keep your RP. I hope I didn't miss anything else. I already watched his video once. I don't really think he has much more to say that I disagree with. He might have a couple points towards the end, but that was the biggest section of the video that I disagreed with.